welcome back to another edition of Comic Star Talk, doing the Oscars wrap up. Today I am your co-host Kevco Tweets, joined with
XO.
In Sandman again.
Awesome. How are you doing, guys?
Doing
I'm
good.
good. How are you?
Good. We all watched the Oscars the other night. Fun
Good
night.
time.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
It was a very good time. Of course, Zan, I know you were there a lot because of Conan.
Yes.
Correct. Yes.
He did so much better than he did as good as I thought he was going to do. I think maybe he's restricted a little bit to not be as funny, but he still did really good. Way better than Jimmy Kimmel. So
he made that remark about Drake
he
halfway
did.
through the show, which was pretty funny,
Yeah,
and
it's
some people were
hilarious.
kind of mad about it.
People find any reason to be mad, so
Yep.
not surprised.
Yep. All right, let's get into the show. The Oscars themselves. Talk about some of the winners, some of the losers, some snubs, some stuff that went on during the event. Nobody got slapped, so that's good this year.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
4 years now?
Was that 4 years ago?
Or might have been
Wow.
4 or 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a long
like-
time ago.
There's like
Um,
around, I forget, I was like literally like I met my family that day. They took the
think it was-
Oscars.
21, so yeah.
That's 4
Jesus.
years. Yeah, it was 4
Was it
years.
21 or
Crazy.
22? I'm pretty sure, yeah, because he had that movie going, Apple, right around that same time, about slavery, I remember. And he was up for some awards as well.
Oh, because it might have been 20. I think it might have been 22.
Okay. COVID messed up my entire time the last 4 or 5 years.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can't keep track.
Yeah,
Pretty sure
it
it's
all
22.
blends. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, it all blends together.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the old writing for the original screenplay. Anora won it, and that was I liked Anora a lot, but it beat out The Broodless, which I still have not seen. A Real Pain, which was beautifully written. September 5, another beautifully written movie, and then of course The Substance, which I thought this was the
Wow.
category that it would win.
Yeah.
We all love The Substance. What are you guys'
Mhm.
thoughts on Anora winning that? Now that you've both seen it.
I think it's overhyped, but it's a good movie. I just don't like it as much as other people do.
Yeah, I mean, you can at least admit that, like, when you watch it, you're like, okay, has like Oscar, like, just the way it is and the way it's edited, it has Oscar potential written all over it.
Yeah, it
Mhm.
was like a
Yeah.
solid movie, well done
Yeah,
movie, but
yeah,
just wasn't for me.
I liked it, but I think it's going to go the way of a lot of, like, maybe Best Picture winners have gone the last couple of years, where they're kind of forgotten about in 3 or 4 years. I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed Anora. But the fact that it won original screenplay over Substance and Real Pain kind of pissed me off.
Yeah. Come on.
Substance
Substance is
was
such
awesome.
a good movie.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
I think Substance should have won that, but I mean, I don't know. I don't feel that strong about that category to begin
Yeah.
with.
That too.
So it's kind of like hard to like be like mad about it.
And neither of you
Yeah.
guys saw A Real Pain, correct? The Jesse Eisenberg movie.
Yeah.
no.
It's
Look
it's
good.
okay. It's heavy on the dialogue, but it's all very well written, and that movie's not bad. I mean, it's all right. I kind of feel about that the way that EXO feels about Nora. Like, I have no
Okay.
rush to see it again, but it was worth checking out. Definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, with the
Adapted-
Nora, I'm really glad I watched it, but because I wasn't gonna watch it originally, but I'm really glad I did.
Yeah, that's the movie.
But you
I don't
you
think a
can
lot of people would
continue.
have seen. I don't think a lot of people would have seen that movie if it wasn't also nominated for Oscars. I think it
Yeah.
would have fallen by the wayside. But it is a very good movie in my opinion. But it's all subjective. So moving on to writing for the adapted screenplay. The winner was Conclave. I'm the only one that's seen it. Complete Unknown, Emilio Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. Have you guys seen any of those? I know that we were all anti Emilio Perez.
I haven't seen any of those either, so it's like
None.
Okay. I mean, obviously, I've seen A Complete Unknown, and I picked that with my heart going into this thing. But Conclave was, I could see why that won. It was very well written. Going on to visual effects, obviously the winner, Dune Part 2. Nominees though, Alien, Romulus, Better Man, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked. Yeah, this was very deserving of that
yeah,
award.
no one else
Thank
is gonna
God.
win that.
Yeah, I mean the visuals in that movie just blow you away
Stunning.
from start to finish.
Alien Romulus would have had a better chance if they didn't use that CGI actor's face.
Yeah.
Oh,
Didn't
yeah.
they fix that on the digital release?
It still looks bad.
Does it?
Oh.
Fix
I'm
in
waiting to get the 4K.
parentheses.
Yeah.
They changed it a
Fixed.
little bit, like the lighting. Like I think they made it like less shadows or something.
Okay. So it was a little less jarring. I actually didn't mind that part,
No,
but
it's
he
still
did
pretty
look
jarring.
ridiculous. Okay.
Yeah,
Still
he
pretty
looked funny,
jarring.
but
He looked
it's
ridiculous.
still a good movie.
He was
I
still
love
like
that
a
movie.
sore. He's still like a sore thumb to me. I was like,
Yep. I
So-
can definitely agree with that. But Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes also was also. I just want to point out that that movie had very good visuals, and that for some reason
Yeah.
none of those 4 movies have won a single award, a single Oscar.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that movie as well.
War
Yeah.
didn't
Kingdom
win
of the-
Best Visual Effects.
It did not.
What
I think
won?
War. None of them have won. War
Okay.
was nominated.
Oh, okay, it
as
was nominated.
I think they all probably have been nominated.
Did it lose
I
to
think-
Blade Runner? Did War lose to Blade Runner?
I think it.
Because
That's I think it did. That sounds
Okay.
about right.
makes sense.
That makes
All right.
sense. Yeah.
Can't be mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they have tough competition. I mean, this one went up against Dune for Christ's sake. They all
Yeah,
have
it
tough
did.
competition. So, sound. We also picked the winner of this. We all went with Dune because of how goddamn
Yeah.
loud it was.
Yeah, I remember Zan saying it's gonna win because it was the
Yep,
loudest.
he made a
movie.
very good point.
Yeah.
It-
The loudest
it-
movie always wins.
From the very
Yeah.
first rumble in the theater, that movie was very loud and very good. The other nominees, real quick though: Complete Unknown, Amelia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. Wicked probably had the best chance to possibly beat Dune in this category, but I'm glad Dune won.
It was also loud, but it wasn't
Yes.
loud enough.
I didn't see it in theater, so I really couldn't judge the loudness in the theater for it, which is kind of upsetting because I should have seen that in theaters, but it came out too early, so I just said screw it and watched it on digital. We're gonna skip over live action short film because we don't really watch those.
I haven't seen any of those. Most people haven't. In our defense,
yeah.
most people haven't, and I doubt
Yep.
they
Yeah,
even
they
do.
haven't.
Which is why they
Oscar
sneak
people
them in.
have.
They sneak them in kind of like a wrestling event where like you have the main event, then you have like 1 or 2 matches that nobody cares about. They kind of snuck them in before the big awards of actor, actress, and best picture, if I remember correctly. It was just kind of they went through them real quick. But moving on to production design. The winner was Wicked, Brutalist, Conclave, Dune 2, and Nosferatu.
I guess so.
think I went with Nosferatu here because I thought that had a chance.
I thought Nosferatu had a chance too. I wanted to win something though, at the same time. So it's like it's
Yeah.
gotta win something.
That's how I felt. I kind of picked it like a lot of these I picked with my heart, especially like I told you before we started. Like I filled out my little sheet and I kind of forgot Wicked to even win an award because it seemed like it was always going up against Dune, Nosferatu, or God damn it, why am I blanking on one of my favorite movies? Substance. There we go.
There you go.
Substance.
It seemed like it was going up against a couple of those in each category. So, but yeah, Wicked.
Yeah, that's
Wicked had
probably
great
the
production
only
design.
chance Nosferatu had to win was best makeup
Mhm.
and hairstyle, which
Mhm.
Substance ended up winning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
jumping
but-
ahead there, but
Yeah,
Production
those
design.
are both really good.
Yes. Skipping best picture for now. Music original song. We don't really care about that.
I mean, I cared that Amelia Perez won for some reason.
Yes, that's
And then we
what I
had
said.
the worst speech of the night because they started singing instead of speeching.
And it was the Amelia
Yeah.
Perez song, which for some reason they got 2. I'll just go over it now. Winner was Amelia Perez with Al Mall. The Journey from 6888. Sing Sing had a song called Like a Bird. Amelia Perez got a second nomination with Mi Camino, and Never Too Late from Elton John, Never Too Late. I didn't really have a pick here. I think I just threw the Elton John one on my sheet just cause.
You're like Elton John.
Yeah, I love Elton John. So yeah, I mean, I'm just surprised they allowed 2 songs from the same movie on there, but I guess it is
Yeah.
just, best song. So I guess if they did have 2 of the top 5, I guess put them on there.
Mhm.
But they weren't that great.
No,
They
and
weren't
that was
that-
actually the one I thought would lose. So
Hmm.
I thought Mi Camino would have won,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah, I don't know. I was just annoyed that they won something, and then I was more annoyed when they started singing. So
yeah. Score. Brutalist won. nominees: Conclave, Emilio Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. Um, sure, Brutalist. Why not?
Sure,
Haven't
I'm
seen it,
really
so I have no interest either way because I haven't seen it, so I can't really say one way or the other if it was if it was deserved it.
Mhm.
Moving on to makeup and hairstyle, we're going to talk about this mainly because the winner was The Substance. Finally got an Oscar. Nominees that it beat were A Different Man, have not seen, Emilio Perez, Nosferatu, and Wicked. I'm glad that Substance or Nosferatu won this.
I
Yeah,
thought
you can't really.
Nosferatu would have that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that monster at the end of the substance really,
See, I
really
thought that was
crazy.
kind of.
And like
I thought that was kind of hurt.
throughout the film of her like aging, that was
Yep.
really good. They did
Yeah.
that very, very well.
Yeah.
Instead of just the one Nosferatu.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
No.
it's you know makeup and
I thought,
hairstyling still includes like everybody also
Yeah.
having those old time period
Yep.
pieces and
that's why
hairstyles and whatever.
I
So I
thought
thought
it
for
might win.
sure.
Yep. Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit before the award ceremony. That because it took place in the 1800s or whatever, like it had kind of a leg up because the Oscars also love that shit.
Yeah, they love their period
So,
pieces.
yeah, they love them, and they hate stuff like The Substance. So I'm glad. I'm really glad it won.
Mhm.
It won something finally. We don't care about international film because we haven't seen it. Film editing. Anora obviously won over The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilio Perez, and Wicked.
Yeah, after seeing it, I'm glad I saw it yesterday.
Mhm.
After the Oscars were Sunday night, right? So
Yep.
saw it yesterday at the theater, and after seeing it, it makes sense why it won Best Editing because it just the first half just flows super fast, and it kind of really slows down in a good way when I'm going to call it when life hits you for not spoil anything for anybody else.
Yes. Okay.
But I think that kind of the editing reflected like how fun, because Lifetime goes by and having fun. So like she's going to work and she's meeting this guy, and everything's fun. They're going on to Vegas or getting drunk and all this other stuff, right? So it just goes by really, really quick. And then when stuff hits the fan, kind of like life is, you're having fun, then all of a sudden life hits you, and then everything really slows down and takes time, and painfully so.
Yes.
So like I feel like it does a really good job.
It's
The
got a
editing
good
wise
balance. A very good
reflects
balance that
that.
way.
I
And
think the editing reflects that.
Sean Baker made the joke about how he had to save the film because of the director, and I think that joke kind of went over people's heads because he directed it also, as well as edited the entire film. And also, this movie was made on a budget of like $4 million, I think, or $9 million, something like that. And he got screwed over by the last people that released his movie, and then he goes out and he wins 4. He himself won 4 Oscars. The movie won 5. Pretty incredible. I like that. I like stories like that. And Wicked was the only one I really saw as having a chance, having only seen parts of Emilio Perez. But I thought Nora had it, and it was also tracking to be like the front runner. And a lot of times that is the best picture is tied to editing a lot of times. So, yeah, Nora won that one. Documentary. We're good on those. You have no thoughts on the documentaries, right? Because I don't think we've seen the one that we've all seen was the Chris Reeves one, and that wasn't even nominated.
Yeah, that's what I thought it'd be up there, but whatever.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not a documentary guy, so like...
Either am I. Next on the list, directing. Anora wins with Sean Baker. Nominees were The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Emilio Perez, and The Substance.
I was rooting for The Substance director. Obviously, Denis should have been nominated in the first place, and that's who should have won if he was there, but he wasn't nominated.
Yep.
So that's unfortunate.
And, I don't know. People are saying they're waiting on Dune Messiah, and I'm like, you guys should really look into Dune Messiah, the book, because that book was basically like an epilogue to the first Dune book. So I have a feeling he's going to change a lot of things up for that movie, because I'm sure you know the story. Yeah, you can Google it or whatever, but he has to change a bunch of elements for it to even be nominated. And hopefully they release it in November this time so he can be considered for awards.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, this event took place a year after its release, which is a long time.
I think Dune is like viewed as like a summer movie because it's like pretty epic and stuff. But considering the context of Dune Messiah, maybe it will be in November because it's not really an epic.
Right.
Messiah isn't really that story.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the story.
It'll be different, and I'm really wondering how that's going to turn out and what he's going to do to the story. So we'll see. I do trust Denny though.
mhm.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's fantastic in everything he does. Costume design, wicked one. I just could see that coming, but we all wanted, or at least I did, Nosferatu. As
Yeah,
you
I
can see,
did
we're
too.
big fans of
That's
Nosferatu.
what we wanted.
Yep.
I didn't
Gladiator
want
2.
Wicked to win anything, but it deserves this one.
Yep. Conclave and a Complete Unknown. I mean, like we say, they love their period pieces, and Nosferatu, Gladiator 2, Conclave, and a Complete Unknown are all period pieces. Wicked is technically, I guess you could consider it something like that too, but yeah, I could see why it won that. But we all wanted Nosferatu.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't have much two thoughts on it. I mean, it makes sense, I guess. They had to make their own
Yeah,
period in a way, but at the same time,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're based off costumes from the play.
yeah, they
You
are.
know.
So,
Yeah, probably.
So I mean,
yeah,
so I guess give it something. You got to give it something, you know.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't win any of the huge awards, or except for, well, maybe one. I don't know. We'll get there. Cinematography, winner of by The Brutalists. Again, I have to see that movie. But Dune 2 got screwed. Emilio Perez was up for it. Maria and Nosferatu. Craig Fraser deserved that for Dune 2, I thought, without
Yeah.
seeing The Brutalists.
I need
In
to see
my
the
opinion.
Brutalist to see why it won, but
Yeah.
because yeah, Dune 2 was very visual
Mm-hmm.
to me.
Yeah.
Yes. Dune 2 was an experience when I saw it. I don't know if I'll say that after watching The Brutalists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Uh,
Just looks boring. It's like
Yeah, it doesn't look
boring
like the type-
looking movie.
Like, I know they give you like an intermission, but I'll probably take an intermission halfway before the next intermission myself, because it is 3 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like the type of movie that appeals to me.
Yeah.
But I do want to see it to see what all the hype's about. And, you know, I'm sure it's going to be fine, but I don't know. It's long.
Mm-hmm.
I
Very
got to
long.
carve out some time. But actress in a supporting role, winner was Zoe Saldana. She beat out Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande, Felicity Jones, and Isabella Rossellini. Good for Zoe. That was the
Well-
one award I wanted Emilia Perez to win.
It was fine until like after the ceremony or whatever you want to call it, and she like
Mhm.
addressed the controversy, and she says, "I'm sorry you felt that way."
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that
didn't
was-
even hear that.
That
You
was
didn't
not
hear
the
that?
move.
No.
Oh,
Like
really?
she said, like to the Mexican community that feels offended, I'm sorry you feel that way, but
Oh,
this movie
interesting.
wasn't about that. It was about these
Oh,
people.
I did see that quote going around.
And
Yeah,
it
like
was,
I understand her standing on business, like you won this, but like, come on, girl, like, don't say that. It just
There's a
made her
better
look
way of
so
saying
bad.
it.
Yeah, it didn't hit right.
Yeah.
to saying I'm sorry you felt that way. Just say we made a movie about these people. Our target wasn't to
Yeah, offend
that
or upset
story.
anyone.
Mhm.
So we're sorry. We did this by accident. Wasn't our intention. But hopefully in the future, if we do this story like this again, we can do better or something. Instead of
Yeah.
just, well, I'm sorry you felt that way.
I mean,
Yeah,
in the way society is too today, it's almost like just don't even speak. Like just
Or don't say anything.
don't
Yeah.
even comment anything.
yeah. Don't say anything.
Because no matter what you say, you could say the complete right thing, and people will still get on you because that's the way people are these days.
Yeah.
So I would just be like, I don't know what I would say, but I mean, I would just try to stay away from that topic and change up real quick. But
Yeah,
whatever. Then we got actress in the leading role, Mikey Madsen. She won for Nora. Nominees were Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon for Emilia Perez, Debbie Moore for The Substance, and Fernina Torres for I'm Still Here.
I really wanted Demi to win.
Yep.
Like Mickey Madison, she did great.
Mm-hmm.
She did great, but Demi Moore should have won that. Like,
Yeah. We were all pulling for her though, just because we love The Substance, and Demi also has been around forever and never even been nominated for something. So
yeah,
we're
this
all
was
kinda
probably
pulling
her
for that.
chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just like the plot of The Substance, you know, the younger, hotter person
Yeah,
won.
literally,
Yeah.
literally. I seen an edit on Twitter that was like that, and I'm like,
Yep.
yeah,
That's
that's kind of
exactly.
crazy.
Yep. It's been memed the last couple days. But yeah, that might also be Mikey's only. I mean, you have no idea where her career is going to go. It's probably going to skyrocket now at this point, and she'll be getting a lot of really good roles.
Yeah,
Hopefully, they're
absolutely.
the right roles. Because I've liked her in everything she's been in. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where she gets lit on fire. Scream, where she gets lit on fire. Pretty much any time you make her, a marshmallow over a fire, it's a good time. At the theaters.
I hope we can see more of her on fire.
Yes.
Don't stop being on fire.
She should take more roles, like require her to be on fire for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got actor in a supporting role. We got Kieran Culkin, who won for A Real Pain. Nominees were Yura Borsarev for Nora, Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce for The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice. I loved Kieran's speech. I thought it was awesome.
Speech.
He was like 20 seconds in, and he just started to basically just go off the top of his head, which I love. Because it's more heartfelt and sincere.
Yeah, it felt sincere is the word I was going to use. Yeah. You could really feel what he's saying.
People were shitting on him because he was talking about now his wife has to like have another kid or whatever. Like it was like an inside joke between two married people. Like, get over it. Like,
it's not that deep at all.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not.
Like
it's people need to grow up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. You got a great reaction too from the crowd. Edward Norton though, I wanted him, but it didn't seem like he was campaigning much for this role. Like he wasn't doing interviews and stuff like that. But I just love Edward Norton ever since Fight Club. So I think Kieran deserved it. As being the only person here that's seen A Real Pain. Then we got actor in a leading role. Adrian Brody, Timothy Chalamet, Coleman Domingo, Ray Fiennes, and Sebastian Stan. Of course, it was won by Adrian Brody with the longest speech in the history of speeches. I went to the bathroom, came back, and I had 3 minutes left to go. So
he just kept talking.
Yep.
Like,
it was worse when the music started. He said, "Don't worry, I've done this before. It won't be much longer." And then he continued to talk for 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's very, very cringe. It like, dude, stop. Just stop. Your time is up. And you're not even saying anything. If he was saying something more with weight, like, I just felt like he didn't say anything, and I didn't want him to win either.
I still remember Joaquin Phoenix's speech in 2020 when he won Best Actor for Joker. I thought that was long.
Didn't he go on a tirade of like veganism and stuff like that?
Yeah, he talked about cows and milk and whatever, and I'm just like, bro, get off the stage.
Yep.
It's not what we're here for.
Just say thank you and get off.
Yep. Thank your wife, thank your publicist, thank the director, the rest of the crew, and get the hell out of there. Make it quick.
I'm not very good at speeches, so thanks.
Yes.
Exactly.
Sebastian Stan also he deserves a lot more recognition, I think, than he's getting, based on the fact that he did kind of put his career on the line here at this point. A lot of people told him not to take the role of Donald Trump for a very good reason. And since Donald Trump was reelected, he took even more shit about it. So I kind of feel bad for him because we all love Sebastian Stan from the MCU anyways.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bucky Barnes.
Guy. Yep.
Everybody loves Bucky.
To the big one. The film of the year. Anora wins. And we all kind of wanted The Substance, but kind of also acknowledged it didn't have a chance.
Yeah.
So
I mainly wanted Dune 2.
Yeah, Dune 2 was I mean, like we all liked The Substance enough, but like Dune 2 I think was the one in this category we saw winning.
It was the best movie, so
it was, it was number one on my list since the day I saw it. And I saw it like 3 times in theaters, I want to say, and a bunch since I got the 4K. I've watched that and the first one back to back, and it's epic that way. You'll just have to, pause for bathroom breaks, of course. But yeah, Nora won. Over The Brutalist, over Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune 2, Substance, Wicked, Nickel Boys, I'm Still Here, and Amelia Perez. Just glad Amelia Perez did not win that. I had 5 of these movies in like my top 10, I think. So I had a lot to like root for, which is very rare with the Oscars with me. Usually there's nothing to root for.
There's usually nothing there.
Like there was like the year like Black Panther was like the first time in like years where I was like, yes, something for us. And it usually doesn't work out that way. So I was glad The Substance got recognized like that. especially because like Dune 2 you saw and you were like, okay, that's definitely going to be up there for movie of the year. Same with Complete Unknown. But then like The Substance, you're like, they don't go for those types of movies. But it came out at
Nah.
the right time. It was popular enough, so
Mhm.
they won it. They went
Yeah,
with it.
even the sports radio station was talking about it, and I'm like,
Yep.
that's
Yep.
cool.
Same here. Our sports
Mhm.
radio station talked about it too. One of the guys is a movie guy too, so that helps. He does do awesome
Yeah,
talk.
he was talking up Dune 2 and The Substance. I'm like, yeah, fuck with him.
Yep. And so, of course, now that's going to bring us to our next subject, which would be the snubs of the show. What do you think got snubbed? Besides Dune 2 in multiple categories.
Well, obviously, we already talked about Denis being not nominated at all.
That's the big
Yeah,
one.
that's my biggest one as well.
It's crazy.
And Adrian Brody doing the AI
Yep.
on his role. It doesn't sit right, and I know Adrian he's a good actor, but like Timothy Chalamet put a lot into The Complete Unknown. I haven't seen
Yes.
either, but
I've been
from what
hyping
I've
that up
sing.
since I saw it, and
yeah, it's ready to watch. I just haven't
Yeah.
watched it yet.
Yeah. He did a great job. Zan and I were talking last night though about how playing another person that already like it's kind of like you're just doing an imitation of them, so that might have hurt him a little bit.
For impression.
Yeah, an
whatever.
impression, imitation. So I can see that too. Plus, Timothy Chalamet is only 27. He's going to have a lot of opportunities to win these awards playing a character that is his own, that he makes his own. So
Bro has a great agent.
he does.
He's in like every movie I see. I swear.
His mother wasn't his mother like a member of the SAG back, like she was like an actress herself. So like I think that's how he got his in. He said that like the SAG Awards, he was talking about his mother and how he used to come to this award show when he was like 3 years old and stuff like that.
Sounds right.
I think. Don't quote me on that. But yeah.
Do you still have the list in front of you? We didn't do the animated films. Can we do
Oh, you
that
want to
one?
do animated? Okay. We can go
Yeah,
back to animated.
because I like that winner.
Oh yeah, I think I skipped it because it was short. It was right before the
Yeah. I just want to know what other movies it went against.
Flow won, I think.
Flow
right?
one, yes.
Yeah, one.
Inside Out 2 is nominated, and so was
Actually, it's animated
Wild
short
Out.
film. Oh, okay, here we
Wild
go. Animated
Robot.
feature film. Yeah. The winner was Flow. It beat out Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance, Most Foul. I didn't even know that was a thing, and The Wild Robot, which I liked a lot.
Yeah, Flow is the only one I've seen, so I was like, "Oh, cool, Flow's
Okay.
here," and then it ended up winning. So it was
Do you
delightful.
recommend Flow? Is it
I
good?
do. It's a unique watch. It's like
Okay.
it's no dialogue. You're just experiencing what the cat is experiencing, and it's cool.
Okay.
It
Okay.
felt fresh, like a new idea. Felt like
I
and
wanna
we don't
see
get that
it.
a lot.
I want to see it.
It's on Max, so
I thought Inside Out 2 would win because usually Disney wins, but
Yes.
apparently it's been 3 years now. Disney hasn't won anything.
Yeah.
Because they've been
and Flow
releasing
was the
bad movies.
independent studio that used Blender, a completely free animation system to
Mhm.
make it, which is
Interesting.
cool.
And you said this on Max? What is it, like an hour and 20 minutes?
Yeah, or 2 hours, something like that.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I think it's
cool.
pretty
It was
short.
just
Yeah.
a fun thing to watch, and I didn't
Yep.
expect to enjoy it like I did, but it was really good.
Nice.
Animated films are usually on the within 2 hour range,
Yeah,
unless you're
usually.
like can't think of the guy. What's that? I can't think of the dude's name. The guy who did
Michael B.
can't think of the
Jordan.
movie. No, I
That's
can't
just
think
my
of the
stock
animated
answer.
movies. Miyazaki, is that his name?
Oh, sure, we'll go with that.
Trying to think of a movie. Ponyo, he did Ponyo and some other stuff. I can't think of it. Usually those can be longer than 2 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Like
yeah,
Princess Mononoke is like 2.5 hours, and I think that might have won or been nominated for best
Okay.
animated feature that year. So he's the only one I could think of that is animated features longer than 2 hours.
Yeah,
that are
because I
good.
mean, especially because most animated features are made for children and their attention spans are not very good. So you want to keep it around an hour and a half with the animated stuff.
Yeah, which is fair.
Yeah.
It's a good time for a movie.
Yep.
I think like 2019 Oscars was like the worst one because it was like Into the Spider-Verse, so I was like, okay, that's gonna win.
Oh,
but
yep.
then it was like Ferdinand and The Boss Baby and a couple other things. They were all nominated that same year for Best Animated Feature.
Yeah.
And that was a rough year. I think Disney wanted Ralph Breaks the Internet to win.
Okay.
And at Best Buy, when they used to sell movies back in the good old days, when they had it on display, they actually put out early Oscar winning Best Animated Feature. And they didn't
Nice.
win.
It
was terrible too. So
I miss Best
Yeah, it
Buy
was a
selling
bad
DVDs.
movie.
I still buy movies, it's just not in stores anymore.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough out here for a G. But there's one more thing I do want to talk about, and that'd be the Bond montage. They just sold, and a lot of people were like, "Why are they doing a Bond montage?" I don't think a lot of people realize they literally just sold, so they're no longer basically the last family-owned company from the heyday that is now owned by a huge conglomerate company, whatever you want to call it, Amazon. And I thought it was fantastic. They should have gotten what's her name to do the song.
Adele.
Yes, they should have got Adele back because I mean she's still popping up. She's still at like every Lakers game, so they should have got her back. But maybe she wasn't interested, and it was also like a homage from other artists. But as a lifelong Bond fan, I absolutely love that.
You just had Margaret Qualley in the beginning too.
Yes.
So if you
Who
know a
should be a
Bond
Bond
film,
girl.
get Margaret Qualley, get her as a Bond girl.
Yes. And
Do it.
sign up the Nolans.
And yeah, I thought it was really cool. I mean, I'm a big Bond guy. I haven't seen all of them. Like you, I think
Yeah,
you've seen them all?
I'm not very
I've
big
seen
on
them all.
Bond, so
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
grew up
whatever.
with it like around the time GoldenEye came out because that was when they were relaunching after not being in theaters for like 6 years, I think. Yeah, 6 years because that came out in '95, and then of course the video game was also being made around that same time. I was like at that age where like Bond was on TNT like every night, and at that point there was only like 18 or 17 movies, or if there was that many, so you just sit there and just watch Bond movie every night on TNT on cable. And a lot of these Connery ones I have not revisited since, so I'm doing them slowly over the course of the next year.
They still did play them every day when I was a kid, so that's how I caught most of them.
Yep. Yeah, they kept that up, I think, probably up until about 3 or 4 years ago. I feel like they stopped doing that.
Well, I stopped watching TV. I'm streaming now, so
that's a good point too. Yeah,
it's hard to know, you know.
Now you can stream them yourself if you own them or if they're on a service. I think most of them are on Amazon right now. In EXO, you never liked Bond. It wasn't your thing?
No, I'm not a big action guy. Like pure action, I'm not like big. I need like some sci-fi, some fantasy in there, some fiction. Just sprinkle a little fiction in.
Cerebral Moon Part 2 enjoyer, by the way, saying this.
Hey, watch it. Watch it. But yeah, with the guns and cars, it's just like whatever. But anytime I do sit down and watch an action movie, it's like, all right, this is fine.
I mean, those old ones are pretty slow.
The old ones are extremely slow. Like you watch Dr. No, like I remember that Dr. No was like one of the last ones I watched when I was doing it back in the day, and I was just like, oh my god. But now I like Dr. No, but because I've seen a lot more. But God, that one is like that's like he puts like a hair over the safe, and then like the hair is gone, so like he knows that somebody was in his room. Like those are the type of detective skills he was showing off in that one.
See, I haven't seen the movie in forever, but when I was I was like a teenager, and I thought it was really boring.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not a great watch.
Yeah, that was my impression with the Bond movies. I was bored as a kid, and I never went back to it.
And since we're talking the Bond montage, it was announced by Halle Berry, and she is in the worst Bond movie.
Die Another Day.
It's worse than Moonraker, which is like basically Fast and Furious 9.
Moonraker is fun. I don't care.
Moonraker is a lot of fun. But she was in one that was not fun at all.
No, that was just dumb.
It was a product of the early 2000s, and they were trying something new. Was that the one where Bond's car was invisible or some shit like that?
Yeah, it was invisible.
I've seen it the one time in theaters, and I have not gone back to rewatch. I'm not looking forward to it on this watch. Might have to pop an edible or something like that.
Might be the only way.
Yeah, it might be. Might be the only way to get through it. But yes, I love Bond, and my favorite Bond will probably always be Pierce Brosnan. But I like the Moore movies a lot as a set of movies because they're just fun, dumb movies. They're enjoyable.
Do you like Craig as Bond?
I like Craig.
Yeah.
Craig's good. I like that he was in his own
he looks
arc.
good.
Yeah, I like that he was in his own 5-movie arc. Casino was great. Quantum sucked. That was literally being rewritten because of the writer's strike, like during the writer's strike.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you got the third one.
Skyfall.
Thank you. I blank on stuff like that a lot, which is also very strong.
Mm-hmm.
Then the fourth one was Spectra, which was what it was. And I like No Time to Die. And I mean, I think a big part of that is the fact that Ana de Armas is in it.
Yeah, that would help my enjoyment if I saw it.
Yes.
I haven't seen the last two.
Yeah. Spectra's not great. Spectra has a great opening scene, though. So it's got that going for it.
I judged it off the song, and the song was really bad. And
who did?
I think
Skyfall?
Skyfall was Adele, but whoever did Spectre, and I think Billie Eilish was the last one, right? I think those are like decent songs, like in a vacuum.
Okay.
Like in a vacuum, like by itself, you're probably like, oh, this is good. But if you put it in the context where it's like, okay, this is a James Bond song, it doesn't really hit.
Yep.
You know, like a Bond song should.
Yep.
That's why it doesn't work.
Shirley,
for me.
I want to say Shirley Temple, but that's obviously not it. But the lady that sang the first, like she did like Goldfinger and she did like one or two others, they had her record songs for other Bond movies that you could find on YouTube. Like they have one for her doing Quantum of Solace. And the song absolutely destroys the bullshit they used, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was Jack White being... I've watched...
Yes.
I'm a big fan of Jack White, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know this. So, and in like an interview, he's like, you did the Bond song. How was that like? He's like, well, I wanted to do something experimental and different. And they called me back to do something different. But I didn't want to do that. So I just kept telling them I was busy. And then they still used my song.
Yeah, they should have used... If you want to look up like alternate, there's like a couple alternate themes for Bond that were never used, which is kind of interesting to look at in the history of Bond. But,
I wonder why they went with that one anyways. I mean, especially now knowing they had another recording from that lady, why not use her?
I have no idea.
I think because like it's a new modern Bonds, you want to use like modern artists.
They could have done the recording of that lady too, like afterwards as like a special like to help promote the movie or something like that too. I just know it exists. I don't know when she actually recorded it. So she could have recorded it for like a special feature or something like that. So maybe like a history of Bond or something. I don't know. But yeah, any DCU news you want to talk about? You want to talk about that video game company?
Well, that's not really DCU. It's more like WB travesty news. WB mismanaging. I guess that's DC in a way because they were working on a Wonder Woman game.
Yep.
And then they got shut down
after spending $100 million or something like that. Yeah.
And people want to blame the studio, which some people are. Most people aren't. They're going to blame WB because WB was like, "You guys should work on a Wonder Woman game," and they're like, "Okay, but we have to use this Nemesis system that you copyrighted back in 2017."
Yep.
Yeah.
And they have that until like 2035, I think.
Okay.
Which is so they have exclusive rights to the Nemesis system, which is
which apparently is supposed to be awesome.
It's awesome. It's a great system. Shadow War used it, nothing else.
Okay.
Shadow War used it.
Yo.
It's a cool system that they get exclusive rights to, and
just
no one else
copy and paste with like.
So how does the system work if you're playing a game?
So I'm trying to remember how exactly it works, but the system basically works where when you defeat an enemy, you can get them to work for you and put them in your army to help dominate the area. And they can sometimes, if you neglect them or whatever, they can betray you and build their own army to face you. So you kind of want to treat and respect your soldiers well and some other stuff. And I could be totally wrong about this because I'm not totally, but I'm pretty sure I got it mostly correct because I'm trying to remember. But for Wonder Woman, they were trying to implement it where it's basically a friendship system, since Wonder Woman doesn't really go around slaughtering people, whatever, like the character does in Shadow War. And you wouldn't build them to fight, to build your own fortress and something in Middle Earth, right? You're not trying to do that in the Wonder Woman game.
Right.
So they're trying to do something different. And then one of ours comes in and kind of looks at it and goes, "Yeah, looks fine. Yeah, thumbs up." I'm going to call it toxic positivity, where you tell someone They're doing great. Keep doing it. And then they fumble. And it's actually building towards nothing, and it's not really going anywhere. And they keep working on something that isn't working and not telling them to do something different. And then they just shut them down just because. Like studios, I think their like lead of their studio left. Like their game leads left because it just
they
had
all
no
went to
faith
work.
in it.
They started working for EA, from what I heard. They started up with
boy.
EA, and so while they were trying to get this game going, Monolith was also employing new people with the company, and they just couldn't. They couldn't do what was being done by the previous people that worked for the company.
Right.
That's, from my understanding, that's basically what happened.
So basically, wasted everybody's time.
Yeah,
And so
got
tell
people
them
all
to.
upset.
Yep.
People wanted a Wonder Woman game. We wanted it
Yeah.
for a while, and I blame Rocksteady because they could have been making that instead of Suicide Squad. But whatever, do what we want, I guess. But even then, that was also Warner Brothers saying you have to work on Suicide Squad. You need a game.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we don't know how to make a live service game. I'm like, oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, like just give me a story mode. That's all I want, really.
Yeah. I mean, even bad stories, because I know I didn't play as much as you, but you even enjoyed like Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, right?
I found enjoyment in it, but like I know it's flawed. Like it's way too repetitive.
I only had fun when I played with you guys.
It was way too easy sometimes. Yeah, I was playing with Corey the whole time, and it was enjoyable. Like playing as Harley was cool, but like past playing the story, it's like, all right, I'm done with this. Yeah, Joker came, and I'm like, I don't even care about none of this.
So it wasn't even Joker. He's a friendlier Joker that gets well with others. Like, okay, so not the Joker at all is what I'm hearing.
Fuck out of here is what we're saying to you.
This isn't really the Joker at all.
Did they ever get sloppy? Mr. Freeze? Did they ever do
Mrs. Freeze?
They did Mrs. Freeze. Okay.
And she's a lesbian or something, and then they had a thing where you can buy live service games. What you want to do is you want to make stuff people would want. So if you made it Mr. Freeze, people were like, "Oh, I love Mr. Freeze." Well, you can get them. But instead you made Mrs. Freeze is like an alternate thing. Like, okay, I guess you can do that. But then it's like the skins. There's also how you make money. The skins look absolutely terrible. They're all awful.
The skins in the game weren't that. There wasn't many options, and it was like, oh, okay, these are the ones I get. Whatever.
I never bought any skins, and none of them looked good. And there was no reason or desire to do that for me at all. And it's, like Fortnite, like Daredevil. Like I want to be Daredevil. I'm gonna buy $20, get a skin. Okay.
Yeah, I ended up going to Fortnite after playing this game.
Yeah, because I remember when I was playing with you, and you were like, because everyone else was on Fortnite at that time, and
I wasn't on it.
Playing that, and you were like, "This is my Fortnite," and then like a month later, you were like, "I'm on Fortnite, bro."
Yeah, I finished it.
I was like, "They got you."
Yeah, because there's more to do in Fortnite than the $70 game.
There's way more to do in Fortnite.
And everyone stopped playing Fortnite, so I was like,
we still play Fortnite every now and then.
Yeah, we still play.
I know.
But
it seems like every time I jump in, they're like, update this and it'll take an hour. And I'm like, God damn it, Fortnite.
If you update
I always turn on my PlayStation to make sure everything's downloaded.
I should do that. But, energy ain't free.
So that's this whole thing. WB just wants a live service game.
Yep.
But they're kind of forcing studios that never have ever done that or have any experience doing that, like Rocksteady, like Monolith, to make these said games. And they're terrible games. Or they don't even get made. Because Shadow War was heavily monetized when that game came out, if you guys remember.
Yes.
It was a huge controversy because that was like the peak of controversy for peak year for controversial game monetization because it was Battlefront 2, the loot boxes, which was huge.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah,
and
I remember that.
Then there was Shadow War. So Shadow War, see, if you go back to the interviews, you can find like the really tricky wording there. The key wording was, "You'll have no problem not spending extra money through the main story." So it's right. Yeah, you can play 20, 30 hours main story, get through, fine. But then if you want the true ending, you got to put an extra 300 hours if you don't want to spend money.
Fuck that.
So that's and everyone complained, and they basically waited. WB basically waited until like almost a year later, and then they could update the game to make it easier to do. So it's not that anymore. You can
Right.
get the game now, be fine. But for
Too
the
little, too
dumb
late.
people that spent their money, they got their
Oh my
money.
God.
Thanks.
Yeah. Could you imagine if you did that and then like the day after you found out they were going to be giving it to everyone for free or
Yeah.
whatever?
It was
That
like
would not
XP
be good.
boosting or something because you had to like grind to a certain level in the game to unlock the true ending. I'm not entirely sure exactly how it worked, but it basically involved using the Nemesis system over and over and over and over again to get the highest level people in your army. And you had to and you could spend money and purchase like higher level people or something like that. So that's how it worked, and that's how they got people's money. So it was really greedy and stupid. Battlefront 2 was a little different, but still greedy.
Yeah, I did not like that
Nobody did.
experience.
Nobody
just
did.
That
give me
game
the
had so much
game. Like
potential.
I'll get a deluxe even if like you just give me a good story. I'll buy the deluxe.
Well, Battlefront 2 was so bad, Disney actually had to get on the phone with EA and be like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
That's Disney trying to make good decisions for once.
Yeah, Disney actually just got on the phone with whoever was in charge of EA at the time and said, hey, why is this game being banned in Hawaii for child gambling? Why is that a thing?
That was a thing?
Yeah, it was banned in Hawaii, or it was getting banned because
That's
you had to
crazy.
pay money to get a chance to get a purple upgrade star card or weapon or whatever
And they consider that
to make you
gambling.
better at the game. But you had to pay money for a chance to get better at the game.
That's crazy.
Oh,
So
that's
it was
insane.
horrible monetization. Completely worked. Completely better now. And when that game was back full scale, up and running 2 years later, wonderful updates, wonderful game, EA shut it down during COVID.
Yep. I was about to
When
get
everyone
back
was
on
trapped
it.
inside.
I was about to
They
get back
canceled
on
the
it. Yep.
Damn.
And
When everyone was
they
trapped
shut down.
inside, they canceled the game. Isn't that crazy?
That's not a
Worst
very
time.
good business strategy, exactly. That's a terrible
Yeah, it's
timing.
awful.
All right, guys. And I think on that note, we are out of here. Everyone, have a good night. Peace.
You too. See you guys.
Oh, shit. I never went live. Just kidding.
What?